Can you all see me? Can you hear me? Are you ready? Let me know in the chat. We will start in exactly 3 minutes, so make sure you're comfortable. You can lift the sleeves a little bit so you can use your arms. Hello, Phoenix. That's so amazing, isn't it, today with the internet? Very welcome here. I'm so happy you're here live. This is directly from my clinic in La Bay, Switzerland, close to Lake Geneva. And I'm very, very excited to be here tonight, or this evening, or this morning for some of you. I know in Australia, I think it's 1 o'clock at night, so I'm not expecting a lot of Australians today. And her and I haven't given her a name yet. She's my Aku doll. That's how I call her so far. So let me just get one more thing and we will get started. Hello, everybody. Have to make sure all the technical aspects are good because there's going to be a replay for you for a few days. So you can watch this material again if you want to, because there's a lot in here. I'm so happy to be here, really. It's something in my clinic here, this is Meridian Flow, a clinic for Chinese medicine and acupuncture. And so I work with people with acupuncture every single day. And I always give them the homework to do the acupressure for themselves. So I can see in daily practice the effect it has on people and the empowering way it is to take care of your health. And so I'm so happy that today it's possible that I can share this with you wherever you are in the world. And so, yeah, keep it up in the chat. My assistant is here to help if there's anything needed. Thank you, Hazel, for being here. And there's Germany, there's Florida. Oh, awesome. Thanks. Thank you. Great. So let's get started. I'm very Swiss. We start exactly at 5 o'clock. So for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Angela Chambers. I'm a licensed or registered, how we say here in Switzerland, Chinese medicine practitioner. I've been here in clinic for over 20 years. Sometimes I can't believe it myself, but I finished my studies in 1990. I started my study in 1999 in Sydney, Australia. And then from 2004 onwards, I was practicing. And life brought me to different places in the world, but now I'm here, back in Switzerland, my hometown, my home country. And today, I'm assuming that a lot of you are here because you've seen the reel that I shared just beginning of Easter about a very, very important point of the lung meridian. And you're going to learn a lot about this today. This point I showed you in a reel, and that reel went so viral that now it's at 5.8 million views with about 1,000 comments of people sharing with me how this point has touched them, how they touched the point and felt tears coming up, or they realized the tightness they had in this area of the chest, but had no idea how that was related to grief. And so I really saw that for a lot of people, this is not as normal as it is for me nowadays, because for me, it's obvious that the body, everything is connected with everything. The meridians are rivers that run through us. And that is another thing I'm going to explain to you in more detail tonight. But I have to quickly see where else you're from. Pennsylvania, wow, Brooklyn, New York, Brussels, Netherlands, Detroit, Norway. This is so cool. Welcome each single one of you, and sit back, relax. This is not a class where you have to learn and memorize things by heart. Absorb the information into you. Allow this information to be received by you, because I have a feeling that your body will respond by feeling like, yeah, I know. I already know. I'm trying to tell you. But let this just sink in. We're going to do a bit of practice together, woven in with the theory of the Chinese way of looking at the meridians. Actually, meridian is really not a great word because it's an old 16th century French translation, and it does not justify what these energy lines are in the body. So I'm going to jump in. Oh, there's someone from Lutry. That's around the corner from here. So this is where we're going to begin tonight, not with that particular point, but with the system behind the point, the reason why it works. And the map your body has been running since before you were born, and that made that response possible. As I said, my name is Angela Chambers, for those who are new. I've been in clinical practice for 23 years now, and it is so amazing to share this. Especially the thing that still moves me so much today is not even that this system is so ancient. Chinese medicine goes back over 2,500 years back. And it's not just that the system is so ancient, but it is so accurate. And today, as we have more and more research available, we're seeing the correlation between what Western medicine finds and what Chinese medicine has known a long time ago. How consistently it works, how it keeps being confirmed by research that we find now is really, really fascinating. So the body already knows. Your body already knows what's happening, and the body is always trying to communicate with us. The system that Chinese medicine has developed is called the Jing Luo, the network system, or the channel network system. And the translation of meridian is not accurate in the sense that it doesn't portray the depth of these meridians or the depth of these energy channels, because what you can see here on the lovely Aki doll is only the external pathways. So this is the roots you see. If you look down, that's what you see. But there's all these inner pathways connecting meridians with meridians, connecting organs, tissues, together with emotion. Everything is connected through this channel network. And so what's important to know is that the first character of this Jingluo network in Chinese is the image of an underground watercourse, a whole watercourse that is not just one river, but many little rivers serving every part of our tissue. It's like a river running beneath the surface of the earth, something with direction. It has an exact direction. It doesn't just go wherever. It has a current to it, and it has depth to it, even when you cannot see it on the outside. The second character, luo, means a network, the branching, the connecting threads that bring everything together. It's like a fabric weaving together. And together, that creates the channel network running through you right now as you're breathing. It is definitely one of the things that I found extremely fascinating when I learned about this, but is that the radical or the root of both Jing and Luo contain the Chinese character for silk. And if you think of the material of silk, you know that it is like a beautifully woven together fabric. And when you look today at the research of fascia and the fascial connection in our body, it looks like silk. And so just that in itself is super fascinating, that somehow they already knew thousands of years ago that there is a connecting network making it possible to put a needle, for example, in your toe, and it's affecting your head and your face. So this network, this Jingluo network containing the radicle of silk, gives us a very good idea how this system works in the body. And so 2,500 years ago, they spoke about the same tissue, just with different words, in a completely different civilization, a different part of the world. But the body already knew this. And so there are 12 major meridians or channel network systems that are possible to know at the beginning of Chinese medicine. When you go to Chinese medicine school, you learn these 12 major meridians first. There's also 8 extraordinary and more things, but I'm not going to confuse you tonight with that. And each one of these energy pathways is linked to an organ system. It runs along a very specific route through the body, and it carries a specific quality of energy. And it's active at a specific time of the day. So there's a Chinese organ clock. Maybe you have seen that. And throughout the day, the qi, or the energy of your body, flows through the different organ system in a very precise way. And so tonight, we can only go deep on one. And if you want to learn more, I'm here for that. I have 2 places where you can learn more. One is the Yin Sanctuary. That's my ongoing membership, where we live with the seasons, we go deeper into the meridians and in the energy pathways. And there's the art of acupressure. And I'm going to tell you more about this at the end of this masterclass. But tonight we're going to go deep into one of them, and that is the one that most of you came here for in the first place. So the first channel in the organ clock is the lung meridian. It's the one that governs the breath. It governs your boundaries. It governs something that in the ancient texts they called the po, or the part of your soul that has the most animalistic instinct. It's the animal knowing, the deep inner knowing of the body. We would call it intuition, but it's a little bit more specific than that. And just so that you see that when we speak of the lung channel in Chinese medicine, or the lung organ system, it's not just the lung as Western medicine sees it. It's a whole organ system connected to different parts of the body. And so tonight, with the lung meridian, you're going to get an understanding of what that looks like. If you have questions, please don't ask me medical questions, because I won't be able to answer them. It wouldn't be correct to answer you this just in a chat like this. For that, I would have to see you in person, or you see an acupuncturist. But if you have questions about what I'm teaching you here, please feel free to put it into the chat whenever you need to. And then I will have a look at the end. And keep putting in where you're from. I love that. It's so nice to know that. So before we go into the lung channel itself, I want to give you the framework that holds it. Because without this, the channel is an interesting map. With it, it becomes something that you can feel in your body. Classical Chinese medicine understands the human being as existing simultaneously on 3 different energetic levels. 3 distinct kinds of life force, different ways of expressing this life force, with each one with its own nature, its own territory in the body. And these are also often called the 3 treasures of a human being. And these treasures are, first at the root is the Jing. That's your capital, that's your genetic potential, that's your life force battery. Then there is the Qi. The qi is your daily maintaining energy of your body. It's what you get from eating, from resting, and from moving yourself. That's your daily level of energy. And then we have the Shen, and the Shen is our spirit. It's the transformation of the Jing into Qi into Shen. And the Shen is the heart spirit, in a way, you can call it. And it's what you see in someone's eyes. The sparkle in someone's eyes will show you the level of their Shen, of their spirit. So the Jing is the deepest level. That's the one that is at the most deepest in the body. It's your constitutional inheritance. It's what you get from your parents, from your family lineage, and it's the vitality you arrive here with in this life. It's encoded into every single cell of the body, and the Jing is part of you, is the essence that you cannot fill up. You are given this package with all the information for your life in it, but when that is used up, our life is usually finished. So Jing lives in the kidneys from a Chinese medicine perspective. It's not only the kidney as your filtration system of the body, but the kidneys are seen as the deep roots of your body and your energy resources. It's basically the winter storehouse, the vault of your energy. You can imagine it sitting between the kidneys there at the back, hidden away deep in the body, and it has to be used with care. That is, for example, something that the Chinese tradition of Yang Shen, of nourishing life, is specialized in teaching humans how to live in a way that doesn't use up their essence earlier than necessary. So Western medicine has several words for what Jing describes. And the closest you can get is your genetic blueprint. It's really your ancestral roots that come together in the moment of your conception. When your parents get together, you are created and your Jing is formed. It's also your mitochondrial function. It's your telomere length. It is what determines how you age and how you walk through life. Jing, unfortunately, or Jing depletes over life. And depending on how we live, we use more or less of this Jing, of this substance. And that is not a failure of the body, it is by design. We are meant to be this way. We are born with the Jing, we use it up, and then we go again. There's nothing wrong with that from a Chinese medicine perspective. And when this Jing depletes earlier than it should be, the body will be sending you messages. And these signals, they're very specific. It's like things like the fatigue that sleep, even if you feel like you sleep enough, you still wake not rested. Or the heat that rises from deep inside. In Chinese medicine, we call this bone steaming heat. It's not your typical sweat. It's often related also with menopause or when we go through deep health issues. So the signs of Jing deficiency come from deep in the body. And it's very important to remember that the body never sends us signals for no reason. The body does not send us symptoms to annoy us. The body is trying to communicate with us. And unfortunately, we never learned in school the language of the body and how to hear it and how to understand it. And when I first realized that, for example, in China, in the schools, children learn this from about 4 years old. They learn the meridian system, they learn acupressure, they learn qigong to circulate their own energy. And to me, that was really the moment when I realized we too need this information, and I'm dedicating the time I have on this planet to share this as much as I can with people around me, because it's so powerful and you only need your own hands. and a little bit of understanding of the context of this medicine. So that's your Jing. Now we move to the Qi, the next level up from this energy. So the Qi is more linked to your digestive system, to the center of your body. It is made from what you eat. Whatever you put into this mouth, the drinks you drink have to be digested, and then your body takes the best things from your food and together with the lungs and the air that the lungs take in, the body creates qi. Excuse me. It's your daily currency. It's your daily money to live. It's renewable. You can replenish qi compared to Jing. It's directly fed by how you breathe, how you sleep, by what you eat, and how you move. Also, it's very determined by how much of your daily energy goes towards things that also nourish you back. That's a thought to keep with you because qi is best when it flows in both directions. If Jing is your savings account, then qi is your daily, how I say here in the clinic, your $100 of energy. And that is totally in your hands. Jing is not so much in your hands. Excuse me, something is tickling me. Let me just get a little bit of honey. Honey is very helpful if you have a tickle in the throat. So qi is what is circulating right now through your system. It's also what we're going to access when we do the acupressure. And when it flows freely in your system, when these rivers can flow freely, you are well. When the qi goes everywhere, can expel, can nourish every cell, then your body is happy and it knows exactly what to do. Your body is so highly intelligent and so amazing that the more you can trust it, the more you remove the blockages, the better the qi can flow, and that the better you feel also mentally. So what I see often here in the clinic, and it's a particular pattern also that we experience when we hit midlife, because in midlife, our reserves are a little bit run lower. Depending on how we lived the first part of life, the second part of life, sometimes when the reserves are low, can bring us more symptoms because the body is again trying to give us a message. Sometimes you just feel that everything is tighter than it used to be, and you don't really know why. You didn't do anything different than normally. You may feel this fullness and this tension here in the chest or in the hypochondriac region. Often it has to do that you completely forgot how to breathe deeply during the day. Sometimes you feel that there's emotional up and downs that you don't really have an influence in. And from a Chinese medicine perspective, this is all qi in motion or qi that is blocked. And so from the qi, let's move to the shen, your spirit, the spirit that sparkles through your eyes. And it's the most subtle level of your energy system. It's what the classical texts call the spirit that resides in the heart. So the heart mind in Chinese medicine is accessed through the heart. It doesn't just sit up here, it's also connected to our heart. And if we think of the research of the Heart Math Institute in the US, is very fascinating. Go and look that up because that confirms again what Chinese medicine has been sharing for so many years. And so to understand the Shen even better, imagine it's that quality that someone brings when they walk into the room. You know that feeling when you see someone and you can feel their energy and it's harmonious and it feels peaceful to your system? They have a very calm and they have a peaceful Shen. It's also your capacity to actually be here, to be in a place with people, for example, without feeling like you have to perform something else than you are. It's a calmness about you. It's when you're as present as you can be in a situation. Your Shen is very aligned. And what happens when this Shen or our spirit is disturbed from a Chinese medicine perspective, and that can happen due to many different reasons, but one of them being that when the blood or the substance of your body is not strong enough to hold your Shen. And so the pattern we see is that the Shen starts to go, is not anchored anymore. So it floats. It's not connected as much to you anymore. And what these women that experience that say to me is that they feel flat. They feel like something is different about them. They don't feel like themselves anymore. And not necessarily even sad or not even anxious, but not connected to themselves. And that is fundamentally something that in Chinese medicine we can treat to help the Shen to reconnect to the body and to be anchored within you. So these three energy systems that I just explained to you, the Jing, the Qi, and the Shen, they are never separate. They're all the same energy in different stages of its expression. It's a different density of the energy. It's a different refinement level. The Jing is the most material. The Qi moves a little bit more, and the Shen is very ethereal. It's very gentle. Thank you. I'm loving sharing this with you. So let's go now and explore the lung meridian together. And as we do that, pull up your sleeves, find your own arm, stretch it out in front of you, and just feel for a moment your thumb, that inner part of the radial part of the arm, and then just slide towards the inner arm crease, here, the inner elbow crease. And then you can just trace upwards. I show you here in the doll. Trace upwards towards the shoulder. Here's your lung meridian. Up. I want you to know something, because someone criticized me in the comments, or you're not clearly on the point. I just want to let you know already that, sorry, like this. Up, here's the elbow crease, and then up here on below the clavicular bone. If I show you like this, it's easier. So you find the bone, you slide along, and then at the end you fall into this space. And please don't press immediately too hard. First of all, just connect to the point. You can feel it on either side. All the meridians are bilateral, so you have the meridians always running on either side of the body. The central channel at the front and at the back are extraordinary meridians, but everything else you can see is bilateral. And at the moment we're here at the lung meridian. And so I would love for you to just get a feel for that flow and for how this meridian, I'm sorry, for me it's the opposite when I look into the camera. So forgive me if I go to the wrong side. It doesn't matter because they are on either side. So find lung 1 and 2. And just connect to the point for a moment. Feeling your sitting bones on your seat, feel the arm relaxed. And then go to the other side and just feel if there's any difference in the quality of the point for you. And as you do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the lung meridian, because it's a lot more than just your respiratory system. The lung in Chinese medicine is not only what governs your breath, your inhale and your exhale, but it's taking pure qi from the air. So pure qi was a way of explaining oxygen. And to disperse this pure chi in your whole body, nourishing every single cell of your body with oxygen. But it also governs something that goes beyond the physical breath. It governs something that the classical texts call the Wei Qi, the defensive Qi. And that part of your energy is the energy that circulates on the surface of your body, protecting your body from external pathogens entering your body, but at the same time also opening and closing the pores so that you can sweat, so that you can expel things that you don't want in the body. So that's another part of what the lung does for you. It circulates your Wei Qi, your defensive Qi, across the entire surface of your body. It also governs the skin, the quality of your skin, which is the first boundary between you and the outside world. It's the entire outer layer protecting you. And it houses something that in Western medicine does not have such an equivalent, and it's called the po. And the po is really this part, the soul in Chinese medicine is linked also to each of the major organs. And the part that is linked to the lungs is called the corporeal soul. It's the body's instinctual, the pre-verbal intelligence that your body has. It is that intelligence that can feel something before it happens. And it's not something psychological, it's something somatic. It's something that lives in the body and specifically lives in the lung. And so the lung has the tendency that when you feel danger with the body, for example, or that when you have to brace, the lung exhales a little bit less. And so often this can block our whole exhale. And so we keep things inside, and the body has to keep these emotions somewhere and do the best it can with the emotions without it disturbing the rest of the body. So when you press that point, the lung 1 point below the collarbone, and you felt that something shifted within you, something that you didn't actually know what it was, but that's that aspect of the soul responding, that aspect of your body responding to you, that instinct that recognizes, oh, she's accessing the pathways where I'm holding the grief in the body. And the lung in Chinese medicine is totally related to the emotion of grief. For example, just to show you a different one, is the liver is related to the emotion of anger. The kidneys are related to the emotions of fear. And so these emotions have a specific effect on that organ system. And for the lung, it's sadness, it's grief, especially unprocessed grief. Grief that is working, that is moving, that is completing is not a problem for the body. It's normal to experience grief in life. It's part of life. The problem becomes when this grief stays locked in your body. It's that part of you that never fully exhaled. And every night between 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning is the time of the lung organ system. So meaning that most of the qi flows through that system at that time of the night. And it's also coincidentally the time that so many women here in clinic tell me they wake up, they can't go back to sleep, their sleep is disturbed. And so from a Chinese medicine perspective, we look at the time, we see, okay, so this is the lung time, and that gives us a lot of information about that person and her energy system. So grief that comes, for example, when we lose somebody, but we don't get time to really exhale, to really process that grief, because we have to look after other people. If it's children, if it's a spouse, but we don't get to finish the grieving. So the body, as it's loving us so much, holds this somewhere in the body so that you can continue living without it bothering you too much. And at the beginning, this is okay, but as we're getting older, there's more and more of these things stored in the body. So most of the women I meet carry some kind of emotional residue in the body. It's, I think, slowly, now at 50, I would say, I think it's part of the life school. I don't think we get around having that experience. And that's why it's so important to know how to work with it yourself, to understand that there's ways and tools that you can use to help yourself in these moments. And so the holding of the grief in the body is not in that sense a diagnostic, but it's a pattern that I can see. And so with the lungs, they just ask us one question: when do you give me time to fully exhale, to fully allow this feeling to pass through me again and again if necessary? Sometimes once is not enough. And when you touch that point and you rubbed it, and so many of you or that wrote in the comments described to me how you suddenly started to cry, or when you pressed the point, or that you felt you've been feeling pain in this point for months, or since a beloved person passed away. And so if you're interested, go and have a look at all these comments, because it shows us so clearly how this medicine works and how the body is trying to help us, and that every symptom is just a call for help. It's not to try and make life difficult for us. So the lung is the first channel in the classical 24-hour circulation of energy through the body. The peak hour is also when that channel can do the deepest work, and that is between 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning. And many of us women in perimenopause and menopause know that feeling, that waking up at that time of the night, and we find it difficult to go back to sleep. Suddenly we feel alert and not at all possible to go back to sleep. Sometimes the heart starts to beat faster, or we feel this tension in the chest. And I would like to very clearly differentiate: if you ever have chest tension and tightness, of course, always get it checked to exclude any cardiovascular problems. But when that is all in order and you still have that feeling, it could be due to some stored emotional residue in your lung meridian. Because that's the hour when this grief will try to surface. So it's the hour where the lung will try to release some of this stagnation that she's experiencing. And because we don't have a language for that, we often start to get scared, or we get nervous or anxious, that we wake up and why do we feel this way? But if we understand what the lung meridian is doing, and that the body through the night and also through the day is trying to work through things for us, and knowing the different times and knowing the different organ systems will help you to understand your body like a map. So in Western medicine, they would say to you that in that hour between 3 and 5 a.m., it's when the cortisol begins to rise to prepare your body for the waking hours. And sometimes in hormonal transitions, this rise can be too early or too premature, depending on how much stress you also have in your body. And so there's also an explanation from the Western medicine point of view, but Chinese medicine sees it as the time of the lung hour. It's just seen the same thing, but from a different vantage point. And knowing that, what the lung hour is offering to you, you can give it something back. Instead of being frustrated, instead of trying to take a sleeping tablet, You can also try to focus on deep, long exhales, on having a hand on the chest and allowing your lungs to release what they've been holding for too long already, or to just give them permission to process. That's one of the key practices that I would love for you to try. When you feel this feeling in your chest, when you feel sadness arriving, allow your hands to come to the points and allow your breath to be long, especially in the exhale. So let's go back to the lung meridian. And so maybe you've been touching it a little bit and feeling the points of the meridian. And so I'm gonna show you 3 points that I often use on this meridian, beginning with Zong Fu, the first one. Lung 1, in between the first and second rib, just below the clavicle in the intercostal space, just a little bit lateral to the sternum. And this is the point that I used in that 5 million view reel. And in classical medicine, this point is the front mu point of the lung meridian. So it's the place where the organ chi is directly accessible and gathers at the surface of the body before it starts to go deep into the body. And it's also the place where the internal function of the lung system is externally, accessible. You can access the lung meridian and the lung organ through the lung meridian directly. If you want to find it now, then bring the fingertips to that point. And now, as you've already made contact with the point, feel free to go a little bit deeper, to do a little bit of circling, and also continue to focus on your exhale. You really want to make the exhale longer than your inhale. And this is a direct access pathway to settling your nervous system and helping the lungs to release better. As you touch that point, begin to just notice. It doesn't have to be anything in particular, like just notice what's there. Does it feel hollow? Does it feel empty? Does it feel full and tender? Notice that, because this is the first step to actually notice the quality of the points over time, because you will see that the quality of the points changes again and again. Every day they can be different. Sometimes you feel that there's resistance sitting in that point, or a strong tenderness. And a significant number of women that I see here in clinic, this point carries a lot of emotion. The lungs tend to hold the things that you're not exhaling as a favor. The lungs are holding this as a favor for us. And so knowing that, you also know that by exhaling deeply, you are helping your lungs to release that. So another point that I love to use is lung 5. And lung 5 is located, I'm going to turn around so you see it. If you look at your elbow crease and you look at the line from the thumb over the radial side of your forearm, you arrive here at the elbow crease, and just let your thumb fall into that point on the doll. It's here. On the outer area of the elbow crease. I'm going to hold the arm up a little bit, but you can just rest your arm on your leg so you don't have to hold it up. And this point is actually best accessed if you hold the arm like this, almost like a baby. You hold your arm and then you can just let the thumb fall here to the inner elbow crease point. And that point too, you can sit back, you can massage the point and know that you're directly accessing the flow of the river or the energy channel of the lung meridian. Now move a little bit further down and just follow the line of the lung meridian all the way to your wrist. And to locate this point correctly, you will almost like shake your hand with yourself, and you allow your index finger to just land on the upper wrist area, and you feel a depression right there. And this is lung 7. Lung 7 is a super important point for you to know, because it's the master point of the conception vessel. The conception vessel is the most yin meridian that runs in the whole front of your body. And this point is a direct access to that meridian. And for those of you who don't know much about yin and yang, don't worry too much about this. But for those of you who know, you also know that with one point, you access the deepest yin of the body, the most nourishing substance to calm the mind and to help your body be strong in its substance. And that is what lung 7 can do for you. And that's a point that you don't need to rub strongly. Like, not all the points are treated equal, in the sense that some you can press harder, some are closer to structures of the body where there's less tissue to actually massage. But don't think for 1 second that this does not have an effect on your lung meridian. It does. And after that, I show you also how you can brush it down. And so as we're talking, feel lung 7. You hold your hand in your lap. You can even close your eyes while you connect to the points and connect to that whole organ system just through these access points that we call acupuncture or acupressure points. And so as you do that, finish off this little massage before you go over to the other side of to the other arm if you haven't done that yet. Let's finish off with lung 10. Lung 10 is here. There's also a reel about this point. Lung 10 is very tender for most people. It's a point that here you can press a little bit harder. And if you sit back and rest your hand on your knees and you press and release, you will feel a big difference maybe between the two sides when you do the other side. And this is one of the strongest points to relieve grief from your body. Sometimes with the needles, people start to cry when I put the needle in. But it's a crying that is very, very helpful to the body to let go. So now, as you've experienced these points of the lung meridian, just bring your hand up back to Zong Fu or lung 1, and then just simply stroke down the meridian on the radial side, on the thumb side of the arm, releasing the chi. And if you haven't massaged the second side, do so. Otherwise, stroke that side down. You know, there's so many more things that I share, practices in the Yin Sanctuary, and also in the art of acupressure. Now take a moment to sit and just feel how your body feels as you've now massaged several points. You may feel this shift in your own feeling, in the way your own body feels to you. Let the exhale be long and slow through an open mouth if you can. Inhale through the nose, and then when you exhale, allowing your energy to settle. There's other sounds that we can do, but for now, stick with this one. And the extended exhale is not just for nothing. It is what neuroscience today measures, how it calms your nervous system, how the vagal nerve is activated, and you will calm your nervous system down the moment you make your exhale longer than the inhale. the body can move from feeling in a state of alertness, of tension. You know, when we're in fight and flight response, our body loves us that much. And we always laugh here in the clinic because I'm like, you know, when the body is scared, because we either think something scary or something scary is happening, because the body doesn't know the difference. But the first thing it does for us, it's this: don't worry, I protect you. And so everything starts to contract. And then if we never loosen that contraction back up, that becomes our new normal. And if you look at the meridian system, you may see that there is one really long channel running all over the back of the body, the bladder meridian. And that one, like, it just contracts so much, wanting to protect us. And if we don't have the tools to let the body know, hey buddy, it's okay, you can let go now. You don't have to protect me anymore. We're safe. That is what we're doing with the acupressure. You're touching your body, you're breathing, and then you access the right points to work directly with what is going on for you in that moment. In Chinese medicine, we call this returning the qi back to the lower dantian. The lower dantian sits here in the lower belly. It is where our jing is stored, where our life force battery sits and circulates and has to stay warm and cozy so it can service our whole body. And whenever we do, for example, a qigong practice, at the end we bring the energy back into the lower belly to have it there ready to circulate in our body. So, time flies. I can't believe I already spoke for almost 50 minutes. Sorry, my voice is a little bit fragile today. But this is what you can also do next time that you wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. And this time, you know what's going on. You know that it's maybe your lungs needing to do a proper exhale. And maybe that's all it takes. 2 or 3 deep exhalations, a little bit of pressing the points. And you know, the lung meridian is relatively easy to press even when you're lying down. So you can just lean back, find the point as you're lying in bed, put one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, and allowing the lungs to exhale what they've been holding for so long. And I want to come to a close of this session now with something that really matters to me. Because as the body's intelligence is becoming more and more real to you, not just as information, because trust me, and you know already, there is so much knowledge everywhere. You can do 500 other courses, you can go and learn more, but you have to know that at the end of it, it all sits in our head. And the key and where the real change starts to happen is when you can bring this knowledge into your body, when it becomes you. When in the moment when you need it, you actually remember that you can press that point. And that's when the relationship to your own body changes. So when a symptom has a channel, when the tight chest at 3 in the morning has a name and a territory and a history of clinical data, it stops being this weird pain that you don't know what to do with, or this strange sadness that you don't know why it's sitting there. And it becomes something that you have an access to, an influence over. There's a reason, there is a pattern, and it can be understood and responded to. So the body, the Chinese medicine calls symptoms basically evidence. The translation of the word symptom in Chinese medicine is testimony or evidence, is the body bearing witness to its own condition. It's the body trying to tell us, hey, Angela, it's hurting here because something is blocked, something in this flow of the qi that should be smooth all over the body is blocked. And blockage causes pain and illness and pain is due to blockage in the body. That is one of the first phrases we learn in Chinese medicine. The channel system is one of the absolutely oldest, continuously refined maps of the human body in existence. It's not from yesterday. It's been tested on real human beings over thousands of years. And so it has an intelligence, it has a language that is very precise. And because I've studied it for so many years and I've had the great honor to work with very amazing Chinese doctors in different parts of the world, and then see it in clinical practice. So it's become my second nature. To speak to you about your own body's intelligence, for me, makes me sometimes almost emotional, because it's something that we must learn in school. We have to share it with our children. We have to realize that we have an influence on our health, and that there is a beautiful map for it. So, this is what I hope tonight has started, that you connect to your body in an embodied way, in a, touch yourself, feel yourself, love your cells, by giving them the attention and the intelligence that they deserve. And use a system that's been tested. It's not like, the newest version of something, but it's an ancient system mapped over thousands of years. And so this is what I'm teaching you in the art of acupressure. That is my signature course that I love so very much. And it's in German and in English. It's a self-paced course. Everything is recorded. You have access for life, and you also have access to any replays. Plus, there will be 2 Q&A live sessions, one more at the beginning or after a couple of weeks of the course, and then one a little bit later. I don't know the dates by heart right now, but they're already set. Same time, it's a Saturday at 5 p.m. So that you can dive in, start to practice, explore the meridians. I explain you all the meridians in there, and I show them to you in a very beautiful system that we use here in the clinic called the Balance Method system, where you learn to access any part of the body, so using the most ancient points called the antique points that all run between fingertips and elbows, knees and toes, and they access all the rest of the body. So you can see that I can use a point on the foot, but the flow of the river goes all the way up throughout the body. And so knowing your symptoms will help you choose the meridian and therefore influence the right area of your body. So sign up, come and join me in the art of acupressure. I'd love to see you there. Pour my heart into this course. And the ongoing support is in the Yin Sanctuary, my membership. But the art of acupressure, you have a very special price at the moment at 333 euros instead of 444. The link is in the chat. And now I'm going to have a look at the questions. And for those of you who've been here until now, I want to tell you, I appreciate you. So let me see the questions. Do you have everything in one place, or I go through the whole thing? Thank you, Hazel, for being here. Hello, Turkey. So, good question about circle or not circle. That matters when you do acupuncture, but when you do acupressure, a little bit less. I would say keep your attention more on being very present with yourself, on feeling the point, on feeling how your body reacts, on noticing, rather than thinking, oh, do I have to go circling this way, this way? That's when you go back into your head. And this practice is a body practice. So whenever you start to think, oh, should I do 3 circles 7 times or 9 circles 3 times? Just focus on the exhale. First and all, focus on the exhale. Remember, that's how the lungs release. Circling backwards or forwards has its importance, but not for this, what you're doing here and now, which is connecting to your body, helping your lungs to exhale and release. Do these points also help with frustration and anger? I know anger is from the liver, but I'm curious as well. Good question. Very good question. Yes, because when you calm your nervous system, you also will be less angry. And anger in itself is a very hot emotion. It's an emotion that can cause inflammation in the body. It's usually related to the liver and the wood element. But when you do acupressure on the lung meridian, because the lung meridian is a metal element organ and wood, so they have also their correlation, and you can be 100% sure that it will also affect the outer meridians of your body. I always say to the patients when I do the acupuncture, it's good to tell me everything that you want to treat, because I can design a treatment that covers everything, because you can't just do one point and only affect one area. And the points are not like a needle pin small. They're an area of the body. They're part of a flowing river. Yes, it's a beautiful affirmation. I agree with you. To love our bodies as much as they love us. It's really true, isn't it? When you see it like this, you're like, oh, thank you. I love you. Thank you for being the house for my soul. Thank you for letting me walk and talk and move and share this, for example. Like our bodies, the moment you start to look at yourself this way, things change. I can guarantee you that. And healing is based on that. I'm happy, Deb, that it's timely for you, and probably also for so many other women, that waking at that time help. Please let me know later on in the comments or wherever you meet me or on the Instagram. Let me know how you go when you start to do this practice, and feel when you're in an emotional moment, to take a moment and just go, ah. Let out sound while you touch the points. That's also very, very helpful. I'm so happy you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I understand that you hold a lot of grief. When things like this happen in life, it's so hard. So I'm very, very honored if this can help you somehow, in some way, to help yourself walk through the grief, to hold your own hand, while you have to cope with this. And yes, I'm sending you a lot of love. Unfortunately, I don't have someone in New York at the moment that I can think of, but if I do, feel free to ask me again in a couple of weeks if someone came to my mind. And I do have someone, Harlem Chi Acupuncture, Joanna. Absolutely, I have someone. See if you find her, Harlem Chi Acupuncture, and please send her my regards when you go and see her. She's amazing. Harlem Chi, yeah. Check it out and let me know. Her name is Joanna. She's also done the balance method trainings with me. Really beautiful person. Thank you, Noel. I'm happy. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes I don't recognize you, because there's all different names. There's a name on Instagram, there's a different name on YouTube, and same for me. So thank you for letting me know. And now I'm slowly going to head off, and I wish you a beautiful weekend. Thank you for being here. Feel free to tag me on Instagram, share this with your friends. The replay is available for another few days. And join me in the art of acupressure, so we can go deep and learn more about each single one of these meridians. So you learn about fear, working with fear, and the kidney meridian, anger and the liver. And there's very specific ways to do that. But then it really, really, really works. So much, much love, and take care of yourselves. If we take good care of ourselves, the energy that we contribute to the world is much better. And I think that's one of the first things we can do for a better planet. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Take care and lots of love. Mwah. Ciao. Also from her. See you soon.